So, yo, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus. If things couldn't get worse. So, Bernie Sanders says, I told my Senate colleagues loudly and clearly Congress, sorry, whoops. Switching over tabs here. Told my Senate colleagues loudly and clearly Congress should be working 24 hours, 7 days a week until we pass a bill that addresses the pain and anxiety of millions of families throughout this country. Period. Damn, we really fucked up not making him president, huh? And it brings me back to like, it reminds me of the Democratic primary. And I remember everybody being so defeated when Bernie was like, I have to suspend my campaign because, COVID's raging and I'm not having people going out and voting for me. And it was one of those simple things that we kind of took like for granted because we wanted him to be president so bad because it felt like, hey, there's a guy running that actually cares about us as, individuals and can understand our pain and doesn't look at us like, fucking poor people who fucking poor people who need the money. He looked at us like individuals who actually cared about what we were saying and what we were going through. Oh man, yeah, Donald Trump's rating is all the way up to 100%. So I just want to listen to what he said here. Oops.
Is there objection to proceeding to the measure?
Reserving the right to object.
The senator from Vermont.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, last week I indicated that it would be unacceptable for the Senate to recess for the Christmas holidays without providing substantial direct payments to the working families of our country.
Now, I want to make it clear. I don't know about y'all, so I could be wrong here. But I can assume that the majority of y'all bought Christmas presents, right? And if I'm fair to assume that you bought Christmas presents, I can assume you did maybe some online retail shopping at some point. I guarantee you, no matter how hard Americans are hit by this, no matter how hard, Alexa, turn bedside light to warm white. Ah, that's better. That makes it. That was because it was like it was too moody, too dark for me in the cover. A lot of y'all bought Christmas presents, and I guarantee you, even though we haven't gotten an economic stimulus of any kind, and people are struggling to like make ends meet, and shit is probably going to be really bad. I promise you, Amazon and all these other companies doing Christmas deals, etc. I bet you their stock's gonna go way up. They're gonna make mad money on Christmas. And you're gonna ask yourself, well, where did that money come from? Where did that money come from? If people don't have it, how are they still buying Christmas gifts? Because we are slaves to making other people happy. And we know during these times, sending a gift or two to somebody is probably going to make their entire year because this year's been absolute shit. Which leads me to a point. Even in the direst of circumstances, we are still consumers to death. Like, oops, I keep hitting the goddamn microphone. We're still consumers to death. So I don't want to even hear it about oh, we need to revitalize society. We need to stick it to these corporations because government ain't helping us, and clearly companies are willing to take our money no matter what the circumstances. Like Jeff Bezos could have been like, all right, economic problems, people are still having jobs, people are still working for me. Here's what I'm gonna do. Any item on my site, you get if you spend like $300, any item on my site is free. Like some type of shit like that, under $50 or whatever. Like anything, but no, they don't ever mention that. They don't ever address it. They'll knock some items down. Oh, all shipping things will show up before Christmas. Like I don't care about that. If I'm spending money at your company, make it worth my while. Since we're in a goddamn pandemic.
And to their children. Majority Leader McConnell and I do not agree on much, but as I understand it, we are in agreement on at least one point, and that is that the Senate cannot go home until a COVID emergency relief bill is passed. The fact that the Majority Leader intends to keep the Senate in session this weekend to continue work on the COVID relief package is the correct decision. But let me, at this time, be as clear as I can be. Senator Josh Hawley, a Republican from Missouri, and I have been working together to make certain that the working families of this country have a direct payment of $1,200 for adults and $2,400 for couples and $500 for each of their children. And let me also be absolutely clear that I will object to any attempt by the Senate to pass an omnibus appropriations bill and leave town before passing a COVID relief bill with substantial direct payments going to working people. The truth is that the working families of this country today are probably in worse economic condition than at any time since the Great Depression. Millions of people are unable to pay their rent, and they're worried about being evicted. Hunger is literally at a highest level that it has been in several decades, and in the midst of this
Talk to
terrible,
him, Daddy.
terrible pandemic, we got tens of millions of people who cannot afford to go to a doctor. That is unacceptable. So I would say to my colleagues, let us get this package passed. Let's make certain that we have direct payments to working families of this country. And with that, Mr. President, I would withdraw my objection.
All right. So cool, dope. But then I look at this picture. Then I look at this picture, and I'm like, first of all, so Twitter was going nuts because they were Klansman was trending, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And when I looked at him, I was like, oh shit, the hood in the back made him look like a Klansman, and I was like, I get it. But he says, just received the safe, effective COVID vaccine following continuity of government protocols. Vaccines are how we beat this virus. Now back to continue fighting for a rescue package, including a lot more money for distribution so more Americans can receive it as fast as possible. And I'm like, are you dead ass? Are you serious? So you spent since the pandemic began, obviously, literally downplaying this virus, literally telling people that this doesn't need to pass, holding up bills. Your cohorts have been like flaunting it. You remember what's his name? Matt Gaetz with the gas mask. You remember all these GOP members coming out. You remember Ron DeSantis. Remember, and when I say remember, I mean not remember like, oh my God, that was so long ago. I mean currently at this time, them mocking the virus, them making them feel like, oh, all of a sudden, like everything that we're doing to stop it. I just spoke to a friend of mine in Indiana, and he's like, most of the people there think that like just being more proactive and handing out masks and trying to be more clean in their city and their town and around their family members is scaring them, and all of a sudden everybody's like, you're putting unnecessary fear in our hearts. You're doing thanks for the clip. I'll take that. I'm regressively angry now because now you're telling me, oh, you got the vaccine. So not only do you love socialized medicine when it comes to you, like, oh, like I'm going to get the vaccine immediately before all the Americans that I literally shit on for taking this virus seriously, I'm getting the vaccine, but you don't wear masks. You talk at all these Senate hearings with no mask. All your members mock it. And now all of a sudden you want to act like, oh, the vaccine is here. I'm taking it because it's something serious that we should deal with. I thought it was a hoax. Your man said it was a hoax. You guys messaged so many times that shit isn't even like a beginning trait of how we should think about this. And now all of a sudden it's an issue that we should take seriously. If you are going to sit up here and parade yourself like you actually care now that a vaccine is out, why were you so against any of these things that could have helped Americans be inside to help curb the spread of the virus? Why were you so against all the policies that you were magically in your head saying, it's nothing, you know? It is what it is. Remember that? It is what it is. It is what it fucking is. Now I'm angry because what you're actually telling me is that the majority of the time you've been playing us and you're still sitting up there collecting my fucking tax dollars to make me look like an idiot screaming on the internet, begging you for just 1 second to go against your goddamn leaders' eyes and ears and actually message something that can make us, you know, not be split and not actually be angry at one another. The whole idea of, Trumpers aren't that bad of a people. The Republicans aren't that bad of a people. Tim Pool, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, all making fun of us for trying to actually feel like we should have empathy and some type of discourse about this virus so that way we don't go mad and angry at each other because nothing's being done. And while we're sitting here having nothing being done, people are thinking it's a hoax. You see what I'm talking about? The GOP is a bunch of hypocrites, and not for good reason. Not for the obvious reasons, not for the economic reasons, not for their money reasons, because they're straight up allowing Americans to die for no reason other than to protect their bottom interests. And these people are getting reelected. These people are the people who are representing us. And for the sake of argument, let's say, let's do the Ben Shapiro. let's say that I'm wrong. Let's say they've always had this fear and they just didn't want to speak out about it because they held themselves in power and they didn't want like people to think that they were empathetic because they knew that the hate and the fervor towards Donald Trump was going, okay, if we just say everything that he's saying, more people will elect us. It won't be such a big problem, et cetera, non grata, et cetera, non grata. Yo, if that's the case, then you should not be sitting up there right now. Because you have damn well cost 300,000 Americans their lives because you didn't want to give us monthly payments. And this goes beyond the money. The money would have been a godsend, but you and your cohorts took money from businesses that needed it. You and your cohorts specifically designed the system so that way you could say and do all of these things and there's no prosecution for you. Then you set it up so that way when the next president got elected, he shouldn't go after you because it might look like a vengeful retribution strike, and that would fuel your base even more to elect another GOP member to possibly run for president. So you've been playing this political game with us this entire time, and you really don't understand why people are angry? You could have stopped those Black Lives Matter protests if that was the fact. Oh, they gave her a law. It's Breonna's law. In one city, in one town, let alone. I'll give you the city. I'll tell you what. In one city, in one state, and more violence from police officers is still going on all across the board. If you wanted to really save Americans the trouble, you could have advocated to slash police budgets like your dear leader was deciding to do because, blue lives matter. And that extra money could have went to the people. You people stole from the PPP. You people stole from revenue. You people, you know what? I'm still on this one. And forever and ever, I'm still going to be on this one. You sold stock and didn't tell anybody. You making all this bread, all this money off the backs of the misery. And you wonder why. And it's so, you know what bothers me? You know what gets me super stressed out? Is that your base is so radicalized that they're against the very government that they're trying to support. Like you're doing the things that the people who think the government is out to get them think. And somehow they're still supporting you. Ain't that about a bitch? So yeah, that one tweet really threw me into an uproar because it's like now what do we say? Like, Democrats, liberals, leftists aren't the greatest of human beings when it comes to messaging. That's fair. we can all assume that, and we can all group up together and say, yeah, that's about right. That's like about a thing. But for you to have the nerve, yeah, from his free polio treatment as a child to his free COVID vaccine as an adult, McConnell has benefited his entire life from social welfare programs while unilaterally blocking similar benefits from the rest of the American people. And it's like, it's shit, I keep knocking the mic over. It's like so obvious to me. It should be so obvious to everyone. And this should be a huge red flag. Yo, look, see? They want a vaccine for a virus that they told you wasn't even real. I could run the Newsmax, I could run the Fox News, and Tucker Carlson. So now, I'm wondering why they would choose to even think about messaging these things unless they were trying to indoctrinate me. Like, the problem is it's not straightforward. It's so not straightforward that it looks like you're just hopping onto whatever trend keeps you in power. And so I'm going to just give this suggestion out to anybody who's willing to listen. I sincerely suggest by the time 2024 rolls around, you vote out anybody and you don't vote for anybody who's in their 60s. Like, we're done with these old heads. We're done with these old heads. Like, I can't stress this enough. The GOP is a literal repackaged, like, fascist party. Follow the popular opinion, whatever keeps me in power. I'm going to milk as much money as I can out of it before the young people of this world, like, really, like, get it. And they're just like, all right, so we're just going to message not to vote any of you in. I don't care if you're progressive, liberal, Republican, independent, Green Party. If you were alive during the civil rights era and the crack era, like, goodbye. Because at this point, you know how this works, and you're specifically designing the system to keep you in power without any checks or any balances, which leads me on to my second point. And it's a point that I think that we all kind of need to hear, because it's something that we don't think about until it, like, really hits us. So history is hindsight. We know that for a fact. History is a hindsightful idea. We don't think about things as being extremely traumatizing unless it's either too overwhelming that we can't handle it, or at the same time it's something that's too unmanageable and we think to ourselves, okay, this will just resolve itself because there's no way that in our modern era things will escalate to a certain point. When you think about Trump's presidency, I don't want you to think about it as, oh my God, that was so outrageous. How could he do that? Or, oh my God, somebody's got to, like, rein him in. This is a trial run. You have an idiot who's able to pull off all these maneuvers in the government without being prosecuted, without being impeached. Well, he was impeached, without being removed. This is a trial run to see how far you can push the rule of law. During a pandemic, a lot of things were able to happen. A lot of people got into a lot of positions of power that they didn't belong in. And now we're seeing the effects of that in real time. But because we live in it, we're not looking back at it and saying, damn, I can't believe we were really like that. There's no way we would ever let something like that pass. We have to put a stop to it now. We have to speak up and put a stop to it now, because what's ending up here is that there's precedence for all of this. They're going to keep pulling back to the seat saying, oh, Trump was allowed to do this and nobody said anything about it. I mean, you guys kind of vocally got mad at us on Twitter of all places. But other than that, it wasn't like there was a real big problem about anything that we did. So then they're going to put in somebody more competent who knows how to actually, like, do these things without getting caught. And then we're going to have a real problem because by the time, hello, hey, Anthony, how you doing? I'm just mad at the world right now, so you'll have to excuse me. So yeah, the idea completely becomes, how do we avoid a catastrophe in which all the things that have been allowed to happen from the beginning cannot happen again? We have to put in legislation. We have to put in people who are not going to sit there and be like, Trump's my leader. I need him to die. Like, I'm sorry. Like, yo, like, that's how we have to do it. We have to vote them out. We have to make it straight and clear. If you do this, we the people will withhold all our tax. Like, the IRS can't catch you all. Like, I'm going to be just straight up honest with you. The IRS cannot catch us all. Like, if they're gonna play not by the rules and expect the peasants of the peasants of the state of the country to play by the rules, then we have a major disconnect here. And before I even like rationally try to put into my head everything about uh Trump supporters and Republicans constantly messaging nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong. This picture right here, sorry, wrong direction. This picture right here should explain to you everything that's wrong with that goddamn political party. Now, again, not everybody is perfect. I just showed you Bernie Sanders. I mean, that man is as perfect as it's going to get towards actually doing something for the people and not just for the corporate interests. But damn, they shut him down too. So we got to do something as a people, and we have to all get on the same page because humanity cannot be split like this. And I mean that across the board around the entire globe. You have people believing in this cult like just nasty. Like, and it's pathetic. It's pathetic to a degree that I'm not even ready to say it's pathetic on. I can't for the life of me begin to even understand how the GOP's Senate Majority Leader can outwardly say the virus is real, while at the same time, the fucking president, is like, look at this, the Moderna vaccine is now available. To who? Not to the people. Not to the people. Not to the fucking people. And that's the problem. It's not for the people. Like, you literally said, oh, we're not going to hear about COVID after the election. And now you talking about COVID your damn self. All right, rage tweet time. Rage tweet time. Yeah, I'm misspelling. I'm getting a new keyboard too. Don't worry. Now I got to figure out what to cut out of the fucking tweet. I know what to cut out. Oh. Whoops. I'll take that. Yeah, like, yo, I can't, I don't get it. I don't get it. He's still going on about election fraud. Like, bro, you lost 7 weeks ago. How is this still going? And again, precedent. I could scream it. I need y'all to pay attention. Precedent. When you hear things like this is unprecedented, that's not a great thing. That is not a great thing. This is not something that we applaud and say, wow, I hope nobody ever does that again, because they can. You think the effect of this guy saying this now is just going to waft away when Joe Biden walks into the White House? No, people are going to be skeptical about every election. I mean, smart people won't be. But like people who ingest this type of shit are always going to be second guessing. Did my candidate really win? Did my candidate really lose? And this shit is troubling to me. Because we're just all sitting here rage tweeting like I am about, oh, I can't believe he did that. That sucks. And it's like, no, it's more than sucks. It's more than sucks. It's dangerous to a whole other level. And we're just sitting here accepting it and like, all right, he's there, we can ignore him. Like, no, that man still got a lot of power. Have you ever heard of what's called the midnight? Sorry, I forgot the goddamn term myself. Midnight regulations. Have you ever heard of these things? People are tracking them now. Oversight of yeah, like they're looking they're looking for it now. So midnight regulations are United States federal government regulations created by executive branch agencies in the lame duck period of an outgoing president's administration. In other words, the 12th hour or the 11th hour, I should say. So in that time, a lot of things that become or are signed take about 30 to 60 days, 30 or 60 days to become law. And as you know, in a sitting president's term, they have a lot of days. So in that time, what they try to do is push together as many legislations as possible to become law, so that way when they leave, the sitting president, or the next president, I should say, has a chance to have a good standing on a good foot. But these things are not, like, watching Trump's is not a good thing. Top House Democrats introduced a bill on Tuesday to bolster congressional oversight of last-minute or midnight regulations by an outgoing presidential administration. Like, yeah, outgoing administrations lawful saddle incoming administrations with last-minute regulations that did not undergo thorough review and analysis or failed to collect and heed stakeholder input. If a midnight rule is finalized, a new administration is forced to work through the time-consuming rulemaking process to change or repeal the rule, potentially diverting critical resources at a substantial cost. That's a lot of words for Trump can do whatever the fuck he wants, and Joe Biden has to clean it up. So here's the political plan here. And it's a dumb one, but bear with me here. If Donald Trump creates such a mess that Joe Biden has to go and fix it up, the GOP will immediately in 2022 and 2024 say out of their mouths like fucking assholes, well, you know, Joe Biden didn't really get much accomplished in his term, so we think the GOP should just pick up where they left off, you know. And it's bad. It's bad. It's so bad. It's so bad that we're just talking about this like it don't fucking matter. Like we're talking about this like it don't fucking matter. Okay, stuff is going on the timeline, trending. I'm looking for that. Where's Trump? Uh-oh. Yeah, and then this. And then the fucking this. And then fucking this. Didn't we literally, oh my God, the GOP is a mess, bro. Didn't we literally like go through a whole 2-month story about Hunter Biden's emails, the same as we went through Hillary Clinton's emails? And right in front of our faces, these two, especially these two, Laura Trump, Ivanka, more than two, sorry. Laura Trump, Ivanka Trump, his fucking doofus sons, not Ivanka, Jared Kushner, all of them funneling fucking money through like weird ass campaign, like things that are so illegal and so detrimental to fraud and corruption. And yet somehow we're still pointing the finger at people who aren't even running for president. Meanwhile, the president has people inside of his own cabinet, his own social circle, his own inner circle, doing the exact shit, the projection. The GOP is a master at projection. And all they do is fucking project, man. And it's getting me so angry because I could just end up spending a whole bunch of days talking. I'm not going to do that whole rapid talk shit. I'm not fucking Ben Shapiro. Don't even think about it. Like, yo, like, I just indict all of them. Like, don't play this silly game where it's like, well, you know, if we go after Trump even though we won, they're just going to get mad because, you know, he should have the, like, no, fuck that. Fuck, like, there's the money. Follow the money. Y'all ever see, hold on, I gotta do this right because I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to embarrass myself, but we're gonna do this right. Let's switch counts here. I'm gonna show you how this is how it works.
Why like L.A.
Watch. I'm already hearing Twitch coming after me for
Lee,
screens.
let me introduce you to Carter's theory of criminal investigation. Follow the rich white man.
Follow the rich white man.
Exactly, now you're learning. Every big crime has a rich white man behind it waiting for his cut. Now, in our case, we know who the rich white man is. Stephen Rain.
Who?
Stephen Rain, the hotel billionaire. I saw him on Ricky Tan's boat. When the shooting started, he was way too cool. And I'm gonna tell you something, when people start shooting, white people ain't that cool. They either running around, hiding behind tables, or screaming like, ah!
You sound like that all the time.
Let me tell you something about black people. When stuff goes down, we keep our cool.
Maybe, but not like Asians.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go any further on that. They really played into that stereotype, but it's truth. Follow the rich white man. Follow the rich white man, and follow the rich. It always follow the money to the rich white man. And y'all getting played for this, and I hate it. I hate it so much. So that's my piece today on fucking GOP. I can't believe I spent this could get you so angry, and you end up talking here for hours. Yo, this shit is ridiculous. Like, not even in a 24-hour news cycle. Like, yo, we can't even get 1,200. You know what I would have done if I was in the Senate? I would have advocated for $3,000. $3,000 off 3,200. Here's how I got that. I'm sorry, 3,600. Here's how I got that. Take the minimum wage, multiply it by 40, and 4 weeks. That's 1,200. Then from there, I would have assumed, okay, if this pandemic is seriously that bad and we're the richest nation in the world, here's what we're going to do. For every month that people have to stay inside, we're going to triple their normal wages. Everybody gets 3,600. And for that should cover you for all of your expenses for either that month or into the next month. So people can save money as well as have money. And from those two dynamics, they won't have to go out and stress, oh, I don't have a job, I don't have this. Because when we get out of the pandemic and everything starts opening back up and more job opportunities come and different opportunities come, because obviously as we come out of this pandemic, there's going to be a lot of things that we learn that we can do, like work from home. We don't need big office spaces or whatnot. People have money to invest in capital, start opening things up. All right, now that I saved enough money from my COVID relief, now I can open up a gaming center, make some money that way, put back into the community. All right, see, these things are not hard. They're just people that just don't want to do them with all of their breath because they know that there are people behind them. Dark money. People give you, I'll slide you $100,000 if you vote no on this bill type shit. And that's the GOP. Now, if you're going to sit there and say, well, the Democrats do that too, absolutely. But who's advocating for what here in which situation, and what should we really be looking at in a closer look? Let's be honest here. Let's just be honest here. Let's just fucking be honest here.